Welcome to my next episode. As always, today I got a pretty solid stack. I think I got uh 10 actual items. One is a double feature, so technically 11 movies to go through here. So I'm gonna get right at her because some of these are some of my favorites. I went on a splurge and just decided to watch a bunch of my top movies that I absolutely love throughout history. And yeah, I'm just gonna get right to it here. The first one is one of my all-time favorites, and that's Pulp Fiction. This is like a collector's edition Blu-ray. I don't have the 4K. I would like to get that upgrade eventually. It's hard to get your hands on here for some reason, but this is like a book style one, double disced. Not too bad there. But yeah, I don't really need to go too in depth on these first couple because they are all-time classics, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's a fan of movies will have seen these. Pulp Fiction is Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, in my opinion. Just phenomenal work here. Frickin' Samuel Jackson has one of the greatest lines in movie history in this. Everybody's just top of their game. You got Bruce Willis. For anybody that hasn't seen it, the cast is stacked. And it's all these people in their absolute primes. Like, you got John Travolta, Bruce Willis, Uma Thurman, Ving Rhames. Oh man, the cast goes on. I won't even get into it. Amanda Plummer has a good role in this. Tim Roth, whole bunch. It's freaking bananas. But yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's hard. I don't know if it's my number one movie of all time. I have a few that are just right up there. It's really hard to rank them against each other. But Pulp Fiction is definitely a top 10 for me of all time. And I feel like Quentin Tarantino's been basically trying to live up to this ever since. And here's the thing, he comes pretty damn close in my opinion with a few. As in this next one, which is also Quentin Tarantino, and this is Inglourious Bastards. This is on 4K. This might be my second favorite of Tarantino. It's a war Nazi movie fucking masterpiece. Some of the dramatic scenes in both this and Pulp Fiction are, for me, they're amongst the greatest scenes ever filmed in movies. The basement scene, the underground pub scene in Inglourious Bastards is one of the greatest movie scenes ever filmed. It's hard to even compare it. The intensity, the frickin' acting, just the tension building, the storytelling in that scene is phenomenal. Just so damn good. It's unreal. Unreal work. Another stacked cast, one of the greatest villains. Christoph Waltz plays one of the greatest villains of all time in this movie, I would say. It's just stellar casting. Tarantino, man, he's only done 10 films, and he only has one or two that I would consider lower tier, but they're still must-sees. And then he has 5, 6 even, that are in my top 50 films ever made. That's pretty crazy shit. That puts him in an elite category. The only other person I think that could even touch that is the guy that made this one, Spielberg. He's probably got that many movies in my top 50 of all time as well. His work is also off the chain. But yeah, anybody that has not seen either Pulp Fiction or Inglourious Bastards needs to really get out there, watch these, because this is like cinema on a different level. Anything, in my opinion, everything you ever thought was great, if you haven't seen these two movies, these will end up becoming contenders for you, I would imagine. Eli Roth as the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards, fucking amazing. Just unreal. Most people have probably seen those two movies. Like, they are two of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. And then we come to another one of the greatest movies of all time, and that's The Thing from Carpenter on 4K here. Looks and sounds phenomenal. Never need to buy this movie again. It is, unless they come out with like an insane collector's edition I have to have or something, but this is, yet again, I would say it's the greatest monster movie of all time. Like, best creature feature. The work that goes into this on the creatures is fucking unreal. The sound, it's very minimal, but just the atmosphere it creates is on a different level of filmmaking. Acting, obviously, top notch. Performances from everybody. The lines of dialogue, some of them are almost funny, but they're just done so well that the tension in some of the scenes is top notch. The Thing is yet another absolute must-see for any fan of films in general. Just up there. You have to see some of these movies. Like, it's hard for me because I feel like unless you've seen a lot of these insane pieces of work, it's hard to compare films. Like, if you're watching something, you might think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. But I mean, if you haven't seen some of these, you don't have anything to compare that movie to that you're watching, in my opinion. So it's hard to, like, it's tough. Like, I know everybody has their own opinions, but some of these are like unarguable. Next up, we have a modern masterpiece, in my opinion, and that's The Witch. This is on 4K as well. Looks amazing, sounds amazing. One of the best timepieces I've ever seen. Any fan of horror has seen The Witch. I've seen it like 4 times now. It just gets better and better with each viewing. The authenticity in here is fucking nuts. Unreal performance from Anya Taylor-Joy here, as well as everybody else, but she's the main act, the lead, and she does a stellar work. This is a must grab on 4K, I think, just because of how dark the movie is. Like, what's his name here? Robert Eggers? Pretty sure this was directed by Robert Eggers. Yep. He has Nosferatu coming out this year. I'm so excited for, because he's so good at like just the love that he puts into his movies. I wasn't a huge fan of The Lighthouse. I thought it was okay. I wasn't a massive fan of it. The Northman, to me, was one of the best movies of the year for 2022, I believe it came out in. Just the freaking atmosphere he creates. The authenticity. Like, there's no fake lighting in this movie. It's all just natural lights. He's using language that he studied, and he's using, like, the way everybody talks in this movie is the way they would have talked during that time. Everything's very authentic. It's just unreal. Top-notch filmmaking again. Those, in my opinion, are 5 out of 5s. Absolutely phenomenal. My next one here is from Scream Factory. This is Motel Hell. This is just some classic stuff as well. This, obviously, for me, isn't on the same level as those first 4, but this is a different style of movie. What can you say about this? Just another great atmospheric movie. Like the end scenes with your killers here. I won't ruin much in case you haven't seen this one. Great ending scenes. What they're doing to the people that they're capturing is fucked up. This steelbook is also really nice as well. I don't know if I gave you a good enough look at that, but it's just absolutely beautiful. I know this came out with a 4K, but I didn't upgrade because, I mean, why would I? Like, the steelbook is good enough. I mean, a movie like this can only look so good anyway, so. But Motel Hell, another definite watcher. Like, this one's masterclass. Well, I shouldn't say it's masterclass. It's cheesy. Like, it's a cheesy 80s horror movie. It's not. It's just done well. And for me, it's in the top tier of 80s horror. Really fun. Next up here, I got a double feature from Scream Factory. This is Terror Vision and The Video Dead. Some much lower budget filmmaking here, but still pretty quality. I'll start out with my least favorite one here, and that's The Video Dead. This one, they're both on one disc. You get DVD and Blu-ray. The Video Dead, although it has a cool premise, like this TV randomly shows up at this house and it turns itself on and it unleashes a horde of zombies from the TV. And they just terrorize this street, basically. But I don't know, like, it's got some good kills and it's got great practical effects on the zombies and the kills. It's got okay acting. It's not, like, the worst thing you've ever seen. But the problem I had is that it was a bit boring in the middle of the movie. Like, after the first act, it's the second act. That's about 45 minutes in between the first and third acts that I don't know. I got a bit bored with it. I was like, all right, we got to get somewhere here. This is getting kind of silly. But it's got some great comedy. It's got some great, like, political commentary that it's referencing, but you don't really, it's not blatantly ramming it in your face. It's just commentary. And then the second one here, Terror Vision, right from the opening theme song. The theme song will suck you in right away. It's catchy as fuck. And the storyline's pretty cool here too. It's like aliens beings, and they get transported here, and they basically just terrorize these people in a house. But all the characters in this house are just their costumes are so 80s, feeling like, in a fake way though, like it feels like these people are pretending to be 80s characters. It's just everyone meets their cliche character so perfectly. Kills are awesome, tons of comedy. This one actually shocked me. This was first time viewing for me for both of these. And this one actually caught me off because after I watched Video Dead first and I thought, okay, the other one's probably just going to be mediocre as well. But then this one actually, this one is above mediocre. This is a great 2-pack. I really think both of them deserve a watch. And I think that people will really, anybody that watches Terrorvision and hasn't seen it, it's culty as fuck. Feels like it's a cult hit. Next up here, I'm gonna go with this movie from Kino Lorber. This is from their Something Weird, Forbidden Fruit: The Golden Age of the Exploitation Picture line. This is volume 8. I don't have, this is the only one of this line I have, so, and I'm probably gonna collect them all because this is pretty cool. But this one's called Engagi, and these are all films that were banned by the United States, and the whole line is just banned pictures. This came out in 1930, but it was banned in 1933. It says on here, and although, like I just said, I'm gonna collect them all. I wasn't a fan of this one. I found it just, I don't know, like it's just, the whole movie is shot like it's a Planet Earth documentary, and they're showing you Africa. And it's like they're assuming you've never seen Africa at the time. And it's just them hunting the tribes, the Indian or the African tribe, and the people working on this movie are hunting and killing animals in the movie. And it's the real deal. Like, these are real animals, and there's some pretty brutal shit in here. Like, they're clubbing lion to death at one point, and it's quite graphic. There's like blood coming out of the lion's face, and I was like, wow, like this is brutal stuff. Like, if a movie like this came out today using a real animal, people would be going to prison. So I can see why this was a banned movie. And then it's also got quite a bit of racism in it. It's like they're portraying the African tribe as if they're just a bunch of Neanderthals. And here's the thing, let's be honest. If the tribe is the real deal as well, they are kind of Neanderthal-y. Like, the way they're doing things would not live up to today's standards. Like, it's very old school. So, yeah, cool line though. This is, like I said, number 8 on the spine there, so I'm gonna definitely start picking up some more of these. I know Reefer Madness, marijuana movies on this line. Just a bunch of wild ones. That it's cool seeing movies that, though, I like when I was watching this, I was thinking, could you imagine like what people were thinking in the theater when they watched this? Anybody that went, they were probably just like, people were probably passing out and throwing up and everything else. Today, it's like, it's nothing. It's one thing that I love about old movies. Every time I'm watching one, I'm always thinking about like something like Terrifier 2. It's like, I wish I could go back in time and like throw that on a movie screen in like 1930 and just see the reaction from people, because it would honestly, like, you just picture that. People that are passing out from, like, Phantom of the Opera, where he reveals his face and he just looks at the screen. Like, women and men and children were all leaving the theater sick and passing out. And it's just phenomenal. I couldn't even imagine something from today's world being shown back then. This next one here, this is also from Kino Lorber. This one has a really cool cover. This is Without Warning. This has Jack Palance as the lead here. Right there, sorry. It's got a pretty decent cast. Like, it's got a few familiar faces of people you've seen in other stuff. But this alien here is, like, that's why I bought this movie, is just this alien alone. The look of him is freaking awesome. And it's almost like, Oh, it's hard to describe it. It's like a slasher movie, but with an alien. Another huge thing is that this feels like Predator. 1987's Predator with Schwarzenegger. This is this alien throws like discs, and they latch onto the people and like suck them apart basically. He hunts like Predator, like he's just hiding in the forest and stuff. Like, I bet you if I looked into this and did a deep dive, I'm willing to bet that the people that made Predator were highly influenced by this movie. Like, oh, I did watch a couple of special features, and if I remember correctly, I think the guy that is in the alien suit is the same guy that's in the Predator suit in Predator. So it definitely influenced it. I didn't even piece that together until right this minute, because I was just like, it just popped into my head that it's so much like Predator. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same actor. So the same actor that's inside this alien suit is the same guy that's inside the Predator suit. So that's interesting. I might have to throw these special features back on and give that a double dip, now that I know that. But yeah, I don't think there's reversible art. I didn't really look. Oh, actually there is. We got the classic art here. Pretty cool stuff. I'll definitely throw that in, because I always like, if it comes with a slipcover like that, I like to have the classic art on the inside, so you get the double dip. Yeah, this is good. This one caught me off guard as well. I wasn't expecting much. I thought it would just be super cheese, but there's intensity, there's conspiracy, there's like everything you'd love with a good classic 80s. Oh, this is 1980, by the way. Good stuff there. I would definitely give that a watch too. I only have 2 left here. Next one's my episodic DC animation, and that is Batman: The Killing Joke. Absolutely top notch again here. I'm in my beginning episodes here. I'm just rewatching some of the ones I know that I loved, and so they're all basically the best, the cream of the crop in my opinion. Love the storytelling in this one. Absolutely love the ending. It's just so perfect for Batman and Joker. What can I say? Like, the first half of the movie feels like the whole movie's going in one direction, and then the second half changes course. They basically solve the problems in the first half, and then in the second half it changes course and goes in the new direction, involving Joker, and just great. I absolutely love this. I have the hardcover comic book of this as well, and it's pretty damn similar, pretty damn close. So yeah, anybody that hasn't seen that, Batman: The Killing Joke, put it on your list. Definite watcher again. And then my final one for the episode. It's going to be a quicker episode today. I bought this on Tuesday, actually. This is just the regular edition of the 4K of The Crow. I have only ever seen this movie once, and it was back when I was a kid. And I didn't remember much of it other than Sting from WCW built his entire character on this. But this is a hard one to talk about. I'll say my wife liked this more than me. I'll start by saying that it feels like almost like early Sin City type stuff. For anybody that hasn't seen it, it's like super comic booky. The town, I should say it feels more like Batman than Sin City, but it's a mixture of both. It just starts right out with his wife being raped and murdered by this group of guys. He's murdered, thrown out a window, killed, and then he just comes out of the grave, throws on some white face makeup, and let the vengeance begin. Brandon Lee does a great job in this. I actually liked him a lot. He was definitely the best part of the movie. It, like my daughter Samara was saying when we were watching it, is that this character is awesome, and it felt like the movie, he was too good for the movie at times. It just, some of the acting from the other characters isn't very good. Some of, like, the music is quite bad. I was actually expecting a much darker, but there's a action scene in the third act of this, and honest to God, they're playing like rockabilly while he's whooping ass. It's like, it feels like Cotton Eye Joe basically. It's just, it's really weird. Like the whole time I was watching, I was like, they should have just went with Cotton Eye Joe. Like it would have been just more hilarious. But yeah, great story. Like this one, it lands at like a 3 for me, maybe even a 2.5. I was expecting to like it a lot more than I did. I feel like this might be a movie that people's memories of it might be a lot like mine. My memory of this was a lot better than what the movie actually is. I don't know, it's just, it's weird. It's one of those. It also has a severe tragedy of a story behind it. Like, Brandon Lee is shot and killed on the set by a gun that didn't even have an actual bullet in it. It was like, remember the story correctly? It was, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure the way he died in this was the prop guys didn't clean the guns properly, and the residue from the special effects that they put into the chamber and the barrel to make it look like the flash is going off and everything built up. It just kept building up and building up, and because they didn't clean them properly, a giant chunk of that came shooting out of the gun, and that's what ends up killing Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, who also died tragically as well. But I couldn't help to think of that. Like, at a certain point, there's a stand-in. You can't really tell. It's done good enough. But it's just hard. It's hard because, like, negligence got this guy killed. And this is, like, his first starring role where he could have broken off and become a big actor. And he gets killed by just poor filmmaking. And that, it's a tragedy to me. Because I think he does a great job. Great look. He has a good voice for acting. Would have loved to see what he would go on to do in the future. But yeah, get off of that depressing shit. It's still a decent movie. Needs to be watched. Everything here, yet again, are must watches. This is more just a lot of good stuff here. It's a pretty solid little pile. 11 movies. I'm a movie watching machine, in case you haven't figured that out yet. It's actually, I always have a movie going on the TV, and if it's something I've seen multiple times and I just want to re-watch it for an episode, I throw it on while I'm doing something else. Like, I'll be cooking supper, and like I was cooking supper when I had The Thing on, because I've already seen The Thing 10 times at least, and I already have watched this 4K of it as well, so I do some other stuff, but that's how I actually watch this many movies, is that I always have one going. When there isn't one on, I don't have downtime. I'm always doing something. I'm I have OCD really bad, so I gotta keep myself occupied, so I just keep pounding through these like it's insanity. I believe this will put me up to like 190 movies I've covered on my channel so far. So I've watched, and that doesn't even include other things I've watched. Like, so I've watched some digital stuff like Shogun. I finished that show. I've also watched a couple digital movies. I've watched a couple 2024 movies that were only available on digital. And then I watched a bunch of stuff this year that was before I started this channel. But since I've started this channel, which is not long, a couple months, I have, not even a couple months, sorry, it's like a month and a half. I've watched like almost 200 movies in that short period of time. And I'm already working on my next pile here. It's a good one. I'm going to start trying to knock some box sets off. I want to include box sets like every single episode, because all my box sets aren't really in my collection. They're spread out on display around the house, around the room. And I want to start including more of them so I can show them off, but it's really hard to squeeze that many of one type of movie or one series of movie in between episodes. So like I've been watching movies from box sets that I want to cover while I'm watching all these as well. So I'll be getting to those box sets. I have one coming up in my next episode, and then I'm gonna start on another one, and then I have other stuff that I'm putting in the episodes as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep working at it. I will start to include some pretty cool box sets coming up. I think they're cool, at least. And hopefully I can just keep having fun. I absolutely love doing this. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, thank you for joining me yet again. And I will see you in a couple days. Thank you.